In addition to billions of dollars in foreign aid, the Senate is also voting on legislation that could ban TikTok over national security concerns.
The House passed that bill as well on Saturday. It would force the app's China-based parent company, ByteDance, to sell TikTok within a year or be banned here in the United States, where over 100 million people, I think, use it. TikTok officials say the company is keeping its users' data safe and have denied any links to China's government. Let's bring in CBS News senior business and tech correspondent Jolene Kent from our LA bureau.
Jolene, you are an expert on these things. I know sometimes we talk about this as a TikTok ban. Is that accurate? And if this legislation does pass, what really happens? What's the first thing that takes place?
It's essentially divest or ban. And what you can see coming down the pike here, if President Biden does sign it, is we're talking about a divest or ban deadline of about 9 months. And President Biden would have the flexibility to add a 3-month time period to the tail end of that if there are some business negotiations going. But it's a really interesting case. It definitely is targeting TikTok particularly, and it is a bipartisan issue, which is, of course, rare on Capitol Hill these days. But what we're seeing is that if this does happen, say it happens and it hits right around January, we're talking about inauguration. Now, if former President Trump wins and takes office, then we could see a different take on it. We saw President Trump during his administration have a very different approach to TikTok, guys.
So, Jolene, talk to us about the algorithm, because I understand that that is kind of what's key here, that the Chinese government has to allow for that to be sold. I mean, walk us through why the algorithm is important. And if ByteDance does sell TikTok, would they have to sell it with the algorithm? Just walk us through that.
So the algorithm for any tech company, especially social media platforms, that is the secret sauce. And that is why TikTok is so effective, addictive, and why so many millions of users love it so much, is they feel like they're getting what they want off of their social media feed in a way that's different than other tech companies and other social platforms. And so ByteDance wouldn't necessarily have to sell the algorithm if it does sell to, say, a U.S. buyer. Now, some of those possible U.S. buyers, Oracle, Microsoft, former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has also weighed in, saying he wants to put a group together, saying that on CNBC to buy TikTok. But the issue is, what would actually be sold and left behind, essentially, if ByteDance is forced to do that? A lot of Wall Street analysts say that the core algorithm, the most important part of the platform, would not go in this case.
But why not? I'm curious about that. I mean, why wouldn't they, if they have to sell and they decide to sell, why wouldn't they sell the algorithm? Would they have to just start over and build a new TikTok with it?
Well, it really depends. And you can kind of look back in recent history to see what happened when President Trump tried to ban TikTok and what that looked like when they established the U.S. company, TikTok USA, in that particular case. But look, this is a company that owns its own intellectual property. And so it doesn't have to sell the core algorithm. And many Wall Street analysts expect that it won't sell it, so that the TikTok that you see, according to folks I've been talking to, would either end up being an atrophied old version of the app that would slowly die in the various app stores, or it would be sold in something that is a totally different form.
Interesting. I mean, there's obviously a lot of value in the name, but if you don't have the underlying technology, you have to wonder what it's worth. All right, Jolene, thank you so much for making sense of all of that.
Anytime.